Over the past 4 years, I've generated over 100,000 orders with Shopify and made over $13.5 million in sales. And in this video, I want to show you step by step how to set up a Shopify store as a beginner so you're ready to start accepting sales. The first thing you need to do is click the link below this video to go to this Shopify page. The offer that Shopify is running at the time of you clicking it may change. They're always experimenting with different offers. So the offer that you see when you click the link will be the best offer that you can get at this point in time.
So what we're going to do is enter our brand email address that we created earlier on, and click Start Free Trial. Then it's going to take you to a screen that looks like this. It's going to try and ask you some questions about the business. What we're going to do is just click Skip All. We don't need to do any of that. Where will your business be located? Select the country that you have set up your business in. So for this example, I'm going to click on Australia and click Next. And now it's going to be creating your store. So we'll just give it a minute. There we go, we're in the Shopify backend. The store has been drafted. Nothing's published yet, website isn't live, don't worry about that. We need to go through and set up some things through the rest of this phase, but I'm gonna walk you through how to set up all the foundations now. You can see down the bottom, your trial just started. So the first thing we're gonna do is click Select a Plan. We wanna make sure that it doesn't go away once that 3-day free trial ends. This is very important. So out of all the plans you're going to see here, the one that you need to use is Basic. You don't need Shopify or Advanced or Shopify Plus, just Basic. So we're going to click on Select Basic. It's going to ask for some payment details. So we're just going to enter those in and then we'll click Subscribe. The great thing about this free trial is that we get that first month for $1. So you've got the 3-day free trial to get set up. You then have the $1 for the first 30 days. So you've got plenty of time to set up your store, but use that as a bit of a push to get launched before then, to follow through with the lessons so that you're not then billed the month after without having launched and having generated sales yet. It's going to ask us to confirm the business address, so I'm just going to enter that in now. So we're done. We've set up billing. We don't have to worry about it again. Now I'm going to walk you through the rest of the setup. What we're going to do is click on Settings here in the bottom left. Now we're just going to move through each of these options on the left sidebar, and I'll show you what information you need to enter. So we need to rename our store. Right now it's called My Store. We need to change that. So what we're going to do, click on the pencil icon, and we're going to change the store name to be our brand name, which is Pure Water. Hit Save. And if it asks you for a phone number or an email address, don't worry, these aren't going to be public facing. Customers won't see these. This is just for the backend in Shopify. So I've entered that in. We've got the business address, currency is set. I'm just going to change the time zone because I'm currently in Lake Como. And so I want to change it to an Australian time zone because that's where we're going to be selling. So I'm going to select Adelaide. Then for order ID in the prefix section, we're going to put an abbreviated version of our brand name. So using 2 letters. So what I like to do is for this, it's Pure Water, so PW. And that means the order numbers will display as PW 1001 and so on. So we just want to set that up, leave suffix blank. You don't need to change anything else on this screen and then hit save. So the plan has already been sorted, so we don't need to worry about that. Billing, we've already set up as well, connected the card to use when our free trial ends. Users and permissions, we don't need to worry about this either. This is going to be something we'll use later if you do need to give other people access to your store, but you don't need to do it for now. Let's go into the payment section. So this is how we're going to be able to accept payments from our customers. And so the one that is recommended by default in most countries is Shopify Payments. If this doesn't appear for you, that means that it's not supported in your country and you'll be able to set up an alternative payment provider. And so if that is the case, just Google your country followed by Shopify payment providers, and then you can find one that suits you, apply for them, you have to give them your business information, and then you'll be able to connect it into Shopify. But for us, it's easy. We're an Australian business, and so we can go ahead and connect to Shopify Payments. So we're going to click Complete Account Setup. It's going to ask us if we are a business. We're going to select that. And for you, you're going to click Sole Trader if that's what you've registered as. For us, it's going to be a corporation because we created a company. Business details have been added. It's going to ask us for our industry type. So we're going to click on that and go to Retail. Subcategory, this is going to depend on the products that you are selling. So we're going to find one that suits Pure Water here. I think the one that's most applicable for us is home goods and furniture. So I'm going to select that and then click on next. Now it's going to ask you for some further business details, so we're just going to go through and keep entering information until we've got right through to the end. At the top, there's going to be these checkboxes, so you want to make sure you tick this person owns 25% or more equity in the business, and then with equity set it to 100% if you've just set up as a sole trader, and then from here make sure you tick these other boxes as well, enter in the rest of the information, and then hit next. If there's no other directors or owners of the business, you can just click next for both of these screens, and then it's going to do this final review for us. It's going to show us all the information and just ask us to confirm that we actually own this business. The document that you want to upload here is the document you got from the Australian Business Register when you set up as a sole trader. This is just the confirmation document. You would have received it when you got your ABN, and so you want to put something in here that just verifies that this business actually exists. Once we've done that, we click on done. It's going to ask us to verify ourselves as well. So how we're going to do that, going to click upload document. I'm going to upload a copy of my passport. Once all those documents have been added, we're going to click confirm and then submit for verification. It's going to say your information has been submitted, and it's going to ask us to add our bank account. So we want to do this now. This is where you want to enter in the BSB and account number. If you are an Australian business, if you're a US business, it's going to be your routing number and your account number. And if you're from somewhere else in the world, you're just going to enter in what your business bank account details are. With those bank details added, it's going to say bank account is successfully set up, and we now have access to Shopify payments. If they need any more personal information or business information, you'll receive an email from Shopify. But for now, that's all that we need to do there. Down below, we're going to see PayPal. We're not going to click on that yet and complete the setup. We'll do that in a later video. I just want to do that separately so I can walk you through how to do all that. Then we're going to move to checkout. When it asks for customer contact method, want to change it to email. We just want people's emails to monitor their orders, to track them through the process, and also add them to our newsletter. We don't want people to give us their phone number as the main way of contacting them. That just makes it more difficult for you. When it says customer information, we want to click on require first and last name, and then shipping address phone number, we want to select optional. In the marketing options tab, we're going to select pre-selected for email to increase the number of people that sign up to our email list. They can deselect that during checkout. So if they don't want to be a part of our email list, they can say so. And then with tipping, this one's an interesting one. I will turn this on. I recommend you do the same, because some people will leave a tip. They'll just do it. If the option is there for people to do things, a small percentage of them will do them. So we want to have tipping there because that can dramatically change your profit margins. And then we're going to leave the rest as is. All of these boxes should be ticked. For order processing, we want to make sure don't fulfill any of the orders line items automatically is selected as well. And then automatically archive the order should be ticked too. So there's nothing else that we need to change on this page. So we're just going to click save. And we're going to skip customer accounts because we don't need those. Then we move to the next tab, which is shipping and delivery. In here, you want to go up to this top shipping rate section here and click on it. And by default, all of the products that you end up selling will be entered into here. And we're going to first of all delete international. So click on these dots and click delete. And then for the shipping zone, the only one you want to have visible is the one for the country that you're selling to. So we'll be selling to Aussie customers, so we can leave that as is. Otherwise, if that is incorrect for you, click on these dots and click edit zone. You can remove Australia and then select whatever country you're selling to instead and call that zone name the country name as well. So I'm just going to update this one to be Australia and then hit done. By default, it's going to enter in some different shipping rates. And so these are what customers will see when they're at the checkout. They can choose their shipping option. We don't want to use any of the default ones. We want to create our own. So what I'm going to do is delete these here. So we have a clean slate, and then we're going to go ahead and click add rate. In the shipping rate toggle, we want to change it to custom. And here we're going to put in free priority delivery 5 to 9 days. Now adjust this based on the shipping times that have been told to you by our agent for the product that you're going to sell. Don't set unrealistic expectations. Don't tell customers it's going to get there in 2 to 3 days if you know that shipping time takes 5 to 9. And you might be saying, well, I'd never do that. But there are people out there that will lie about the shipping times just to get people to buy, and we don't want that. It creates a very negative customer experience. For price, we're going to leave it as 0, and then we're going to click done. Then we're going to add one more shipping rate. So click add rate, shipping rate, change it to custom. And in the custom rate name, we're going to put premium insured delivery.
5 to 9 days. The price for this is going to be $2.95. So if a product does get lost in transit or there's any issues, it will be covered by the agent and the supplier. But we offer this as a little bonus add-on for customers to choose to help increase our average order value. And if somebody chooses this, even though they will get the same customer experience and will take care of our customers regardless of if they chose this or not, this is a great way to get an extra $3 profit per order for the customers that just want this peace of mind. You only need to set up these 2 shipping rates for the country that you're selling to. You don't need to create ones for worldwide. You should only be selling to one country anyway, so make sure you create the shipping zone and the rates for that country.
Taxes and duties, we can skip that. I'm going to do a separate video on when you need to register for GST as an Australian business, sales tax as a US business, or VAT for a European or UK business. So we're going to skip it for now, then we'll go on to locations. You just want to check that this address is correct. I can see here that it has ACT as the state. That isn't correct. Our business address is in Queensland. So I'm going to make sure that's selected, and then hit save. Gift cards and markets, you can ignore those. Then we're going to go to apps and sales channels. By default, Shopify is going to install some apps on your store that we don't need. And so we want to uninstall these. The ones that are here right now that we don't need are the email app, because we're going to use an external email app called Klaviyo, which gives us a lot more customization. Reason for uninstalling, you can leave that blank and just click uninstall. Removing these extra apps will make your site load faster. We're going to remove point of sale as well. This is used for people that are selling in person with their Shopify store. Then just leave online store and shop, leave those in there, and then we're good to go. Now we're going to move on to domains. So we need to connect the domain that you just purchased earlier in this phase to your store so people can actually access your website. So what we want to do here is click connect existing domain. You want to type in the domain that you purchased on GoDaddy. Then it's going to say to connect your domain, follow the instructions. So we're going to click on follow settings instructions. It'll open a new tab for us. On this help screen, we want to go down to connect your third-party domain to Shopify manually. We're going to click on this one. We're going to scroll down and we need to enter some numbers into our GoDaddy account for the domain. So in a new tab, open up your GoDaddy account. Click on My Products. So you click on yourself in the top right and then My Products to show your domains that you own. You should only have one visible here unless you're using GoDaddy for other businesses. And so once you've found the domain that you just bought before, you want to click on DNS. This is the screen that we're going to enter that information into. So if we go back to the Shopify support article, it's going to tell us exactly what we do need to enter. So it's giving us this number here, and it says we need to point the A record to the Shopify address. So we're going to go here, we're going to view our A record. There should just be one for your domain, and you can see data is parked. So currently, our domain isn't pointing anywhere. So if somebody lands on the domain, it's just going to show a GoDaddy generic screen. It's not going to point to our website. So click on this little pencil icon, change the value to the thing that we just copied from the Shopify article, and then click save. Then the next one it says is delete any other A records on the domain if any are present. So that was the only one there. You can check. These are organized in groups. So if you see any other A records below this, then make sure they are deleted. Next, we need to add the AAAA record to that as well. So it's going to give us this information. We're going to copy that. Make sure you don't copy the commas on either side. Go back here into GoDaddy, click add new record. And then for the type, we're going to select A 4 times. And then we're going to put value. We're going to paste what we just grabbed. And then in the name, we're going to put at. It's going to update. Now we'll move on to the final one, which is a CNAME record. So we want to point the www to shops.myshopify.com. So we're going to grab this again. Going to go back into the DNS. And we can see the CNAME here where the name is www. We want to change it from purewater.com.au and click on the pencil icon. We want to paste in the value that Shopify has given us. This will make sure when somebody does go to your URL, it's going to take them to your Shopify store, which is what we need. Once you've done those setup steps, you want to head back into Shopify and click on verify connection. It's just going to load for us, and there we go. It's connected. You're going to see this little banner that has SSL pending. This is the thing that secures a domain, and so it's going to take a little bit of time before this is ready. So you don't need to worry about that now. But we've set up the domain for your store. So congrats, it's all connected now. Now moving on, we want to ignore customer events, ignore brand, notifications, custom data, languages, customer privacy. We're going to end up on policies. So this is the last thing that we do need to customize in this section. So what we need is a refund policy, we need a privacy policy, and a terms of service. And so the great thing that Shopify does is that you can click this create from template button. This is going to fill it in for us, and then we can go in and insert the changes that we need to make. And so by default, it's going to enter in a 30-day return policy, which is what you're going to offer for your store. And so if we have a look in here, we want to change the email address to be your brand email address. So what I like to do is just enter it once and then grab it and then paste it wherever the other email is. The reason that it's showing my other email address is because I already have a Shopify admin account with multiple stores, and so that's the email that was connected to it. So I want to change it for this one specifically to be the brand email. The only thing you'll need to remove from here is this section if you are not based in Europe. And so we're going to remove that here because we are selling to Aussie customers, and so it's not relevant. And the last thing we need to add is the insert return address. And we'll say, please note the returns will need to be sent to the following address. We're going to change this because we don't know the specific address of where our supplier is based for the product that you're selling. It'll vary based on what product you sell. So we don't have that information yet, and we don't want to list that in here. So we're going to go here and just remove this section altogether. And that's all we need to do. So now we have a return and refund policy. Now moving on to the next section, privacy policy. Click create from template, do the same thing. You're going to remove all of this stuff that is highlighted in yellow. There we go. Last updated, you want to enter in today's date. It's the 27th of April, 2024. This privacy policy describes how and it inserts your brand name into here and your brand domain, which is exactly what we need. We're just going to scroll through and there's going to be a few sections to customize. It's going to have some templates in there that we need to adjust. So scrolling through, this all looks good. Nothing that we need to change in these sections. Cookies, we can leave that in there. How we disclose personal information. So we're going to see another highlighted section. So we're going to remove this chunk here because it says note to merchant, insert the following sentence if using Shopify's ad services. We're not using that. That is an advanced feature for people on the Shopify Plus plan. So we don't want that. We're just going to remove that, but we want to leave this sentence in here that was just at the end of that. So we'll leave that and then we'll move on. Here we go. Another note to merchant. And so we can go ahead and grab all this, select it and delete it. I'm going to delete this as well. Just going to fix that because user-generated content changed the style, so we'll just move it back to a header. Leave that as is. Children's data, we're going to remove this bit at the end. Everything else is staying the same. So what we're going to do now is remove the yellow background on all of this stuff because we do want to keep it in here. So we're just going to click on clear formatting. I'm just going to bold this again. There we go. We're going to remove this note to merchant. We don't want that in there. And another note to merchant. So we're going to remove that as well. There we go. Same thing with this section. Going to go up here and click on clear formatting. That's going to remove the yellow background. Then we're going to bold the start of it so it looks like it's meant to look. There we go. Scrolling down, another note to merchant. You can remove this again because we're not using Shopify audiences. Complaints, international users, and contact. So we want to remove this last part, note to merchant. We don't need that anymore. Then we're going to remove this part. From call to or, because we don't have a phone number that we want people to call us on. We just want them to email us. I'm going to put in the brand email address. Make sure the address is correct. It was, apart from ACT. I don't know why that's in there. It's Queensland. Awesome. That is your privacy policy done. Now terms of service. I'm going to click on create from template and we're going to do the same thing. This one's going to be a bit easier. There's less things that you do need to customize in this. So it's going to go through, see if there's anything we need to remove. Link to refund policy. So we're just going to remove that part at the end and just put a full stop so they can go and access our refund policy if they want to. We don't have to put the link there. Link to privacy policy. Just going to remove that part. So it just says governed by our privacy policy. We're just simplifying it a little bit so we don't have to grab the links yet. because we don't have those. We haven't set up those pages, which we'll do in a later video. Contact information. So this is where we're just going to remove trading name. We're going to swap the email address to be the brand email address. Business address, you want to enter that in there. Remove the insert business phone number. Remove the VAT number if that's not relevant for you. And then you want to enter in your ABN as well, or your EIN if you're in the US, or your equivalent company registration number.
And don't be alarmed if your policy templates look a little bit different inside of Shopify. Shopify is always updating their platform, the way buttons look, the templates that they use, all little things trying to make it better for you as a user of the platform. So if it looks a little bit different, don't stress, just go through and remove any parts that are not relevant, adding your relevant business details, and then we can move on.
So now we've finished our terms of service. We've created that privacy policy. We've got our refund and return policy all finished. It's looking great. Shipping policy, we're going to leave blank for now, and contact information we'll leave blank too. We're going to go ahead and click save, and it's going to say store policies have been saved. We can ignore everything in store activity log, and that's all we need to do. That is the initial setup on your Shopify store.
I really hope that you've enjoyed this video. And as you know, there's plenty more things that go into creating a winning dropshipping store. And I've actually made a free 6.5-hour YouTube video, course video, that walks you through everything step by step from start to finish. So I'll leave that up on the screen now. Go and watch that. It'll walk you through everything.